So hi, this is Merlin. Today the main topic is promise and wait. Before begin, the thing you have to understand the how the how your the browser evaluate your JavaScript. Of course, there's gonna be stack of it. There's gonna be stack here, and then there's a micro task queue and micro task queue. And let's say this is event loop. How do I make it more bigger? Yes, this is event loop. Sorry. Let me just trying to put here. Yes, that's more better. Event loop, and there's other web APIs. And there's the background. They evaluate the web APIs. So let's say you call this with promise functions. Since we promise function is the function, it has to be put into on the stack. So first, with promise functions. After we promise this function is pop out, and now we navigate to reading this next lines of the code, which is console log a start, and let's put it here. And now next function is new promise here. So what we're gonna happen? Let's just try to delete this part. So console log is gonna be happen first. So the reason why it happens first is it is not asynchronous. So we go here and we put it here. Since this is asynchronous, this is not asynchronous. We evaluate this first and rerun it. So the first thing it's gonna print it is A. But next part is the new promise thing. Since the promise is asynchronous, it doesn't block this stack. It doesn't block the thread of it. It doesn't block the stack here. So since this is asynchronous and promise goes to the micro, I don't know how to say micro task queue, and this new promise and goes to this function goes to this stack. But however, it pushes into the micro task queue. So the promise can push onto micro task queue. And next part, we are done with the let p new promise. The next part is this p then. So also this is also asynchronous. We have to push it the asynchronous logic in this part. And now we printed b end. So it's a start. It's gonna print it this part. This is gonna be first, and now this is gonna be second, and now the third is gonna be happen. Since there's no function or a lot of other items on this stack, we now use event loop to pull the micro task queue, a macro task queue. Since this micro task queue has more priority than macro task queue, we put promise space function here. After we put the promise, since inside the promise there's a set timeout, so async inside async. So set timeout go to the another macro task queue, which is in this part. And after that, since there is no lot of other function in the stack, we now post this then in here. Then is in this part. I mean, this code is gonna be run here, but however, then is already asynchronous, and we get rid of then. Now we're able to print the C promise resolve it, but function doesn't resolve with this part. So P then, this logic has more priority than this part, because this doesn't have the some kind of lock to wait for this promise at timeout. So now it has to evaluate then, and since there's no result, so we just able to just print it into conceive promise result first. And now we're gonna able to print this. Next part is the done. So 1, 2, so this one is 1. This part is 1. This code is gonna be a running 1, and this part goes to second, and this part goes third, and this part goes fourth. So that's kind of really it's really kind of hard thing when you're trying to deal with the promise, because it doesn't really make sure function to wait some kind of asynchronous logic in here. But let's say in this part, this is using asynchronous. This is using async always rather than promise. So the first thing it goes to the console log is synchronous, so it happens first. So this happened first. Or can I? Okay, never mind. So this is happening first, so it just gonna delete here. The next part. Oh, I didn't. Oh yeah. So next part is new promise. Since new promise, this is promise, so when it goes to the function and when it evaluates it, it goes to the micro task queue, and then the set timer goes to the macro task queue. However, since this is also using the let await P, so we're not able to print this console log to async await with the result and 3, because the function we're just gonna freeze this still await happens. So that's kind of really good thing you have to deal with async await, because when you just use promise then whatever stuff, it doesn't blocks your it doesn't stop your function, because then it's also asynchronous. But this part, it holds into like this, this function holds this await P till this P got resolved. After it resolved, you're not able to print 2 and 3. And that's kind of really beauty of the asynchronous async await, because when you're trying to deal with some example chatbot streaming, you have to make sure that the text, you have to make sure that this text rendering has to be done first before refreshing your cache and putting the message on your local storage. However, since this logic, if you put then on it, there's kind of more easy, because you cannot really predict what's gonna be happen. But async always that it is basically freezing your functions that, well, we have to still wait the pill resolve. So if there's other logic, you will safely run some kind of putting some kind of set state that this chatbot streaming is done. So I think this is it. Have a nice day. See you next time. Bye bye.